Hello and welcome to the SMEFocus show powered by MTDCNC. I'm Mark Weymouth from the Sensor Specialist Plus Automation, here to help carry on the great work this show does supporting the UK manufacturing sector and particularly highlighting SMEs. My guest today is Liz Wakeham Jones, who I hope won't mind me pointing out is about to celebrate 10 years working to support businesses in Telford, Enterprise Telford, or now I think Invest Telford. So morning, Liz. How are you?
Morning, Mark. How are you? I'm good, thank you.
Good, thanks. Hopefully you can tell us some more about what you're doing to empower businesses. So I've got a few questions to throw at you.
Yeah, sure. No problem. You go ahead.
Okay. So I unkindly mentioned that you've been there for 10 years. So I'm guessing that you like it and you find it rewarding. So can you tell me a bit more maybe about your background up to and now in Invest Health?
Yeah. I must admit, I didn't think that I'd be here for 10 years. I thought it was just going to be a quick, short job that my retired manager, Phil Challoner, pulled me into. But background, always been in sales, basically. I started selling pensions door to door, which was tough in Telford, really, really tough. I went on to selling shoes. From there, I went on to selling hotel rooms for Novotel and Holiday Inn. Then I went on to selling epoxy flooring. Then had 3 children, so went self-employed to fit around their lives. Again, marketing and selling. And then, as I say, my old boss, Phil Challoner, said, "There's a job going in the council. We think you'd be perfect for it. Come and join us." And that was 10 years ago in January. Yeah, so here I am, still there.
Goodness, I'm nowhere near intelligent enough to have worked some link between those careers, but certainly sounds like you've been busy and always selling and understanding what business is about.
Absolutely.
The last time I saw you was at a sort of joint conference you're involved with Make UK, but what was particularly notable was the business that stood up and really sang the benefits of founding their business in Telford and the support that they'd got from Invest Telford moving there, but also then expanding their business. So that inspired today's interview, should we say. So maybe with that company, with other examples, can you explain a little bit more about what you do and maybe the headline things you do and maybe some of the unwritten things you do to support businesses?
Sure. So that event was at Helmet Fastening, who are based in Telford on Stafford Park. And you mentioned working with Make UK. So this is quite crucial and good to bring it up. Make UK, we were the first council to join them as a member. And the reason we decided to join them was because we employ double the national average of people in the engineering sector within Telford. So we're a true heavyweight with regards to the sector of engineering and manufacturing. That event that you came to was a Smart Factories event, so all about adopting digital technology to help make businesses more efficient, increase their quality and their profitability. And I think it was Bridge Cheese that very kindly got up. We wooed them into Telford back in about 8 years ago, set up a small startup and now employing 70 plus people, have grown, keep growing, and a brilliant SME because they access all the funding and support that we chuck at them. They never say no to anything. So yeah, my role, 2 elements of my role: inward investment, attracting businesses to come and set up in Telford who are not already here. That might mean that they're over the border in Staffordshire, Shropshire, or they're in New Zealand. So anywhere out of the borough, coming into Telford, we try and market Telford to them as a place to set up their business. And then the second part of my role is account management. So I'm tasked with looking after some of our largest and most strategic businesses. And when I say look after, be the eyes and ears for the council, if you like, understand what their needs are, what they're doing, if they're growing, how we can support them, how we can keep them in Telford, how we can help from a skills point of view, anything that we can do to keep those businesses in the walls of Telford and Wrekin Borough. And I guess overarching is I'm trying to showcase what Telford is really great at. I'm quite active on LinkedIn. I've got a lot of connections. A lot of people connect with me, which is fabulous, and I connect with them. I love LinkedIn as a portal for that. So I try and shout about what we're doing in Telford. And of course, you, Mark, with your Friday wind up of manufacturing good news, have been very kind to Telford. And I chuck things at you on a Wednesday or Thursday and say, please, can we be part of this? And you highlight us, very often. So very grateful for that.
Perhaps it's telling that I give the invitation to any person, any organisation. If it's good news, send it to me. And you are the only council, investment organisation, whatever, that does. So congratulations for yourself for being proactive. And any good news is worth sharing a bit wider than it would be. So I'm sure people enjoy reading it. I've obviously got a fondship for Shropshire, so I like reading it, so I inflict it on other people.
Good, that's great, thank you.
Looking forward to maybe some more news that'll feature over time. I've heard a very little bit about the Quad, which I think is a new digital skills enterprise hub that Invest Telford are part of. One of them people sort of funding it. So can you tell me or tell us more about the Quad?
Yeah, sure. So as you say, the Quad is a digital skills and enterprise hub. It's part of a new development called Station Quarter. For anybody that knows Telford, that's in between the train station and the shopping centre. We're redeveloping all that strip there. The Quad is financed by the government and Telford and Wrekin Council. And as you say, we're partners in it with Telford College, Harper Adams University, and European Innovation. So there's 4 floors to the building. So we basically take over the building, all of those partners, and help basically spark careers in applied sciences. That's the idea of the Quad. It's a collaboration between industry and education. We, as a council, haven't just said, we think this is what businesses need. We've gone out to talk to businesses and said, what do you need in the future to upskill your workforce? What do you need to be able to grow your business? And they fed back to us. I think I read the other day, you might have even shared this, Mark, that 40% of SMEs cite the lack of skilled personnel is holding them back from growth. So hopefully the Quad will be the answer to some of that. We want to retain, upskill and develop our local talent. We don't want them leaving the borough to learn. We don't want them leaving the borough to work. We want to keep them here because we've got some great young people. So that's the idea behind the Quad. Some of the courses that are available, Harper Adams are doing various courses around applied data science, robotics, automation, which you'll be pleased about, mechatronics, digital manufacturing. Telford College themselves have a digital skills programme, and we're thrilled to be working with, as I said, industry, and Capgemini have been leading on a Step into IT programme, which has been absolutely fantastic. So we're hoping to get 300 students through the doors this year, and obviously that will grow going forward. So it's exciting times. It's great for large and small businesses within the borough, and obviously great for young people to see what the potential is. What does a future job look like? Because I think you'll agree it's very difficult to imagine what future jobs could look like. Somebody once told me that when you're in primary school, 50% of the jobs that you'll go into as an adult aren't even a thing right now, which if I think back to when I was in primary school, web developer, no. AI, no. So you can understand that we've got to help aspire these young people and think about what kind of jobs there are. So exciting times for our young people.
Yeah, we obviously know the world changes with technology, but I think we forget the scale of it. My oldest child is a child of the millennium. She was born in 2000, and I explained to her that in January 2000, a document was released that said how Wi-Fi would behave. You couldn't buy Wi-Fi at that point, and you try and tell a kid that there wasn't something called Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi and cavemen are the sort of the steps they see. They can't imagine that we lived in a world without Wi-Fi.
No, it's
Invest Telford has a nice catchy name. It kind of, I hope, does what it says on the tin. But beyond the investment and bringing the businesses sort of directly in, one of the topics that's always sort of talked around when I speak to people across the country is signposting to support. So maybe can I ask you a little bit about how Invest Telford helps businesses in the borough access what is available, and maybe a flavour of what is available of investment and beyond investment.
Yeah, sure. So we've got there's a team of us which support in different areas, from skills to events to funding to property and land. So there's a small team of us. As you say, we're great signposters. When businesses come through to us and ask us for something, if we can't do it ourselves, we know somebody that can. So we're very, very good at making sure we put businesses in contact with the right support they need. Some of the SME support that we have right now, this is different from council to council. So we decide to use funding in different ways. So relevant for Telford and Wrekin Council, we have something called MEG, which is the March's Energy Grant. This is for up to £100,000 projects for renewable energy measures. The great thing about this programme is you get a free assessment first up. So if you go onto our website, or Invest Telford website, there's a link there called Thrive, and you go through to Meg, click on that, and you can apply for a free assessment. So whether you're deciding to do anything or not, just have a look at what your business is doing right now, what your energy outputs are, etc. And they'll actually advise, if you were to change your light bulbs to LED, you would save X £1,000s a year. So even if you don't think you want to go ahead with the project, have the assessment, because it's brilliant. And that's a 70% intervention rate, which is great. So the businesses have only got to find 30% of the project value. UK Shared Prosperity funding, you might have read in the recent budget that this is going to roll on for another year, and we have some more money coming through, which is fabulous news for our small businesses. We have a couple of strands that are still running at the moment that we've still got money in, which is an upskilling part, which is actually for large and small businesses. Up to £3,000 businesses can access for level 4 and above upskilling. With the announcement from the budget of the extension for UK SPF for another year, our CapEx programs will reopen. They're actually closed at the moment because we've already committed £1 million to over 200 plus projects. So we've been really successful getting the money out the door, which is fantastic, because businesses are taking this offer up, because we don't want to give the money back. We want to give it to businesses to help them grow. So those strands will be opening as and when we know more detail about what the future of the UK SPF looks like. Another great programme, and again, in the budget, this has been extended and the funding has been doubled, which is fantastic. I love Made Smarter. I think you've come across Made Smarter, Mark, as a project. And Bridge Cheese talked extensively about this project at the event that you were talking about. Made Smarter is for manufacturing and engineering companies. It's for SMEs, and it's to help them utilise new technologies, whether this be AI, robotics, big data. It's all about improving efficiency using technology. Bridge Cheese used it to digitise their operations and then put in an ERP system. So you have 12 hours of a consultant from either the MTC, which is the, I'm sure people know, the Manufacturing and Technology Centre, or WMG, Warwick Manufacturing Group, depending on what the project is you're looking at, who's the right group to look at that for companies. So they spend 12 hours with you looking at what you want to achieve, how you might best achieve it. And then at the end of that time, they give you £20,000 to go ahead and buy the ERP system, buy the optical sorter, whatever it is that you felt would help your business. So I really like Made Smarter. I think it's a fantastic project, and so I push it out as much as I can. Again, Made Smarter, if you go onto their website, I think it's just Made Smarter. .co.uk, I think, but anyway, just Google Made Smarter. You have a local business development manager that can come and sit with you, talk to you about what you're thinking. And I would urge every SME in manufacturing and engineering to have a look at it, because it's brilliant. It's really, really brilliant.
Okay, that's a good lead into an extra question that your comments inspired me to ask. So you've segued perfectly to a question you didn't know was coming. You're obviously quite proactive, and Invest Telford's very active in what it does, but I'm mindful that if there's somebody sitting in East Anglia, unless they want to move their business, no, we won't say that. If there's somebody in East Anglia, how do they find a similar organisation? So if you were sat in front of a computer and going to Google, how would you find you if you didn't know what you were called? Or what does a guy in East Anglia type in to find his local support?
That's a really good question. So growth hubs were dreamt up by the previous government and are still going. So if you try and Google your local growth hub, you should be able to find some kind of link to who it would be that would help you. Some councils don't have teams like ours. They don't invest in a business support and in an investment team, but your growth hub should be your signpost for where you need to go. LinkedIn, again, is a great place to, ask other businesses, where are you getting this local support? And you Made Smarter, as I say, they have BDMs across the country. They might have contacts within the local councils, because it's quite difficult. You can't just Google, business support officer in Taffrem Council. I don't know what would come up. Hopefully our team would in Taffrem, but in other councils that's not necessarily the case. So those would be a few areas that you might have a go at, and obviously Department of Business and Trade as well. They'd be able to signpost you through to your local council support.
Okay, that sounds good. That's really useful. Moving it perhaps away from Invest Telford to yourself, but maybe including Invest Telford, what are your plans for 2025? I hate saying it, but the next 12 months is mostly 2025. So what's ahead for yourself? What's ahead for the organisation?
So fast, isn't it? So from a business point of view, we are welcoming a new team leader to our team in January. So we're excited about that. We've been without a team leader for some time now, so that's new exciting times for us. We really want to drive our economic development strategy, and with a new team leader in place, we'll be able to do that. We're also reviewing our local plan as a team. So we're looking to bring more land forward so we can further go out to the market and attract new inward investment into the borough. Personally, probably bored you with this before, but I took up golf in COVID, which was the first kind of sport.
You mentioned it.
You were allowed to play. I really, really would like to get my handicap sub 20 next year. I've managed to get it down to 22 this year, so that would be my personal goal for next year, if the weather cheered up enough for us to play more.
Yeah, well, hey, it makes as we get into the spring and every day gets longer, then I can just picture you staring out the window. I mean, Shropshire's a difficult place to play golf in, but it's also a beautiful place to play golf.
Yeah, so many wonderful golf courses, so we're very, very lucky.
Okay, well, I thank you very much for your time, Liz, and I will sort of do the wrap up, and I hope you have a great weekend. And as I'll say to everybody else, if you'd like to get in touch with the show with a comment, a suggestion, or more importantly, if you'd like to appear in a future episode, please email us at inquiries@mtdcnc.com. Contact myself, Stuart Whitehead, or Joe Reynolds. Thank you very much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. From me, Mark Weymouth at Plus Automation, Sense People. Cheers. Have fun.